Anyway, Tuesday's Times next. It's not looking good for Twitter, Steve, or is it?
Well, possibly. Not if you hold shares at the moment, because the shares have taken a nosedive as Elon Musk is trying to pull out of the deal. They're going to court over this. I mean, maybe now's a good time to get some shares.
Maybe. Well, talk us through this. But I know Elon Musk, said that he wanted to buy Twitter for, what was it, 44 billion.
Yep.
And he was saying, I need to see your stats on how many of your users are bots, are fake users, because that affects the revenue. And they said no. And they kept fudging it, and they wouldn't give him the information, right?
Yes, true, but part of what he should have done before starting this deal is his own due diligence, which is checking these pieces of information before he signs the deal.
But he can't get that information. That's the point,
So he never should have signed the deal.
OK.
So, I mean, this will be... I mean, look, we've just done the short version of what this court case is going to be about.
Yeah.
It's going to cost loads.
But what's great about it is that Elon Musk is now sort of implying that, well, if we do go to court and if Twitter do sue him and force him to go along with the takeover, they'll have to produce the information as evidence in court.
I mean, part of me would like to think that lots of people on Twitter are bots, because some of the hate you see on there, I'd rather think that a bot's a dirty scumbag than humans.
No, I totally agree.
Imagine if a robot could dislike you, something with no emotions. You're so hateable that it's somehow found a way to dislike you. Surely that's worse.
Do you think, Leo, that it would be a good thing if ultimately Elon Musk does take over Twitter?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be fantastic. You've seen with Project Veritas, there's been incredible undercover interviews done. So basically people pose on dating sites and date Twitter employees, and then they pull out all this information from them about the complete bias. And we've seen it, the amount of right-wing people who've been kicked off Twitter for the flimsiest of ideas, or anybody who's remotely gender critical gets booted off while the trans lobby can have death threats and all the rest of it.
It is astonishing, isn't it, that Twitter maintain that they don't have political bias. It's unbelievable. And we, at the House of Lords today, we heard Joanna Cherry giving a talk about precisely this thing, because she actually took people from Twitter to task in the Scottish Parliament, and she was, presenting them with evidence that they will kick women off, feminists off their platform just for acknowledging biological sex, but they won't kick people sending images of guns and nooses to feminists, calling them a TERF. Yeah. Right? So there's a clear double standard here, isn't there, Steve?
I mean, maybe this is the solution, because experts are saying that Twitter may be tainted if this deal doesn't go ahead. Maybe it just fails. Imagine that. Give it a couple of years. Maybe there's just no Twitter and we can all go about our lives again.
Do you know what? That is what we should go for. Yeah. I think a complete end to Twitter. I'd be so happy with that.